a dream come true. Jay Leno was the reigning king of late night for almost 30 years, winning an Emmy Award, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He's even a master mechanic. But his high cholesterol is putting life into perspective for him, one joke at a time. Please welcome Jay Leno. How are you?
Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
I'm so happy.
Appreciate it.
Oh, I like this.
Hello.
Well, they love seeing you.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here. This is my first time. I forgot, we met backstage where? A while back.
At Today's Show, I've seen you a couple times.
What, Today's Show? Yes. Yeah, that's right.
But I tell you, I started this show 10 years ago.
Right.
At 30 Rockefeller Center.
Right.
And Fallon and I started at the exact same time. And I would watch the feed from your studio and see to myself, this guy's an icon. He is working his tail off.
Well, actually, I've got a bit more work to do. If you look at my tail, you see quite a bit more work to do to get it off. But thank you. I appreciate that.
So although you haven't seen me, I've seen you plenty. And we've all admired your work.
Thank you.
Actually, when you watch the news these days, you ever think, oh man, that's a good joke in there?
You know, it's different. You know, everything now is so polarizing. You know, when I did the show, it was kind of, Clinton was horny and Bush was dumb. It was a simpler. No, but I mean, it was a different time.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't this. Everybody's very angry now. Everybody's very polarized, and I miss the idea of just sort of poking. I always like to make fun of people to their face. If they laugh at it. I remember once I was doing the Washington Correspondents' Dinner, and John Kerry was sitting right in front.
Ooh.
And I said, John, why the long face? You know? And it got a...
It's true.
It got a big laugh, you know. But I wasn't attacking somebody's patriotism. I wasn't saying they were un-American. You know, I did it when you question people's judgment, not their motive.
Yes.
You know, now everybody questions motive, and it just makes it tricky. You know, the funny part about comedy is taking it to the next level. It was like, a punchline used to be, that's like the president being with a porn star. Okay, well, now the president is with a porn star. Where do we go? Okay, where do you go from there? Where do you take it now? You know, you can't, there's nothing ridiculous enough now.
No, you can't.
You know, I used to watch that show, House of Cards, and go, well, that's ridiculous, and that could never happen. Now it looks like a documentary, you know? Well, it does. I mean, it does.
So you and your beautiful wife approaching 40 years of marriage.
That's right, 40 years of marriage.
It's biblical in significance.
Yeah.
How do you, look, all the things you've done in your life, that's what I would respect you for the most.
Okay.
So how did you pick the right person for you? How do you keep the marriage healthy?
Well, you know, I remember once I had Drew Barrymore on the show when she was getting married. She was asking me, and I would say to people, you always marry your conscience. Marry the person you would like to be. If you marry someone like yourself, well, now I have two greedy people in the house. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like cars and motorcycles. My wife likes to work with women's groups and help give scholarships and stuff. So, I can, you know, she learns a little bit about cars. I learn a little bit about the Bronte sisters. It works out pretty good. You know, I mean, for me, the 40 years has gone by like that. We have fun. We laugh every day. You know, when I do gigs, I fly home every night. You know, I don't stay in Vegas because you get in trouble.
Yes.
I just fly home every night, and it's good. We have, you know, the real key is to make show business money and lead a normal life.
Yes.
That's
hard.
Because like in my house, in my family, I'm a big shot. I can I can afford to put a roof on my Uncle Lou's house, and when I go home, no, the big meatballs for Jay. No, that big meatballs for Jay, and I get the big meatball, and it works out okay.
Because you put the roof up. You mentioned traveling, so 210 nights a year, or not nights, days a year, I'm told.
Yeah.
You're scheduled and busy. You're 68 years old.
Right.
I mean, how do you do that? And what do you eat, by the way, when you're on the road that much? We see what a president eats.
Well, again, my diet is not one to envy. I wouldn't, you know. I mean, I eat mostly guy food, you know.
This is your guy food from a past era.
What is that?
Has it changed? It was unidentifiable. We tried.
Oh, I'm
carb rich.
It's one of the 5 food groups: pizza, hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken, steak. You know, so I take from those 5 food groups.
Now, that has had a repercussion, as it does for many Americans.
Right.
You found out, I guess, that your cholesterol was high.
My cholesterol is high, yeah, and that's why I got involved with Amgen doing this cholesterol911.com campaign, because cholesterol is one of those deals. You know, in the last couple of years, we lost Rodney Dangerfield, John Panette, Gary Shandling. Now, Gary played basketball, boxed. I mean, he was an athletic guy. And it's one of those things where high cholesterol just hits you. You don't know. You know, if you've got a stomach pain, you can go, well, maybe we'll go to the doctor next week if this keeps up or something. But with high cholesterol, you can be in the best shape of your life, and then boom, it hits you like a truck, you know? So,
did you expect to have high cholesterol? Does it run in your family? Any other risk factors?
when you have an Italian family, you don't really discuss cholesterol. You don't really,
The meatballs. I get the big meatball.
Yeah, your cholesterol is not really in it. See, I'm dyslexic. Here was the cure for dyslexia when I was a kid. Smarten up, smarten up, smarten up. Okay, and I smartened up, and it worked. So that's sort of how. Nobody ever made. I have no idea what my parents' cholesterol was. I had no idea. But in recent years, it's so easy to check now.
Yeah.
And I tell people, go to ask your doctor. Like, for example, they've recently found that laughter is not the best medicine. In fact, it doesn't work at all. It doesn't do anything. If a guy's having a stroke and you tell him a joke, two guys going to a bar, no, he's not going to get better. So don't believe that whole laughter.
But since you brought that up, I mean, you saved Rod. This is maybe urban lore. Please correct this. But Rodney Dangerfield was having a stroke in your studio.
Well,
is that true?
What happened was I had Rodney on The Tonight Show, and I'm a huge fan of Rodney. And comics, we all study one another. I know Rodney. Hey, Taylor, he had that funny way about him.
Respect.
Yeah, and he was on the show, and his movements were just a little off. And he was sweating a little bit, not much. And I remember I was sitting at the desk enjoying Rodney's, and I said to Debbie Vickers, our producer, I said, I think Rodney's having a stroke. Call the paramedics just in case. Really? Okay, so Rodney sat down. Hey, Jay, how you doing? And he just seemed a little more hyper than normal. And he's in the dressing room, and the paramedics came back. I'm all right. What are you doing? I said, Rodney, they think he might have. I'm off. Well, he did. He had a mini stroke. And
it's true.
I remember that the paramedic said to me, you may have saved him from having a heart attack. And I thought, I didn't really do anything. All I did was just look out for my friend who seemed a little off, and just took the most minimal precaution. It was no effort on my part. Yeah. I mean, you're not a hero. But just to teach people, watch out for symptoms, even if you don't know what they are. If something just seems odd, That's why we have this cholesterol911.com campaign. I'm not selling anything. I'm not a reverse mortgage guy. I'm here to screw your grandmother out of her house. No. I mean, it's not. All it is it's just a campaign to make people aware, because we've lost so many. Well, I'll tell you a funny end of that Rodney story. Rodney eventually passed away about 6 years later, and I went to see Rodney in the hospital, and he was in a coma. And his wife, Joan, who was just a great lady, she said, Rodney's, I think he can hear us, but he can't respond. So I'm talking to Rodney, and Rodney was lying like this. And Joan said, Jay, put your finger in Rodney's hand. And she said, Rodney, if you know it's Jay, squeeze his finger. So I felt him squeeze my finger, and I said, Rodney, that's not my finger. So he went, but he went like this. I mean, he moved, No, he did. And the funny part was, he went like that, and I thought, I made him kind of laugh when he was in coma. I mean,
you cured him.
I know I don't mean to sound mean as dumb, but it's just, when you're a comic, you made one of your idols who's in a coma laugh. And Joan thought it was funny, and I hope Rodney thought it was. I mean, he passed away soon after that, but it was just a great moment, with one of my heroes, with one of my friends.
My goodness, it's not my finger.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, more with the hysterical Jay Leno and his advice for all of you at home. I am back with late night superstar Jay Leno, who is somehow making cholesterol and health funny. All right, let me show you. I got a little surprise for you. Guys, bring it out here. A lot of people give their guests fun prizes. I like to do it quite this way. So you'll find out. Put the purple gloves on. You're impatient. Put the purple gloves on. So I thought I'd...
This is not a rectal thing, is it?
No.
I see this show. I never know where it's going. So I need both of them on.
You need both of them on. So I brought you a human heart.
Oh, I understand they taste like chicken. Is that correct?
Yes, they taste like chicken.
Well, thank you.
But I want to, because you're taking time, talk about cholesterol.
That's an actual human heart.
Yeah. Now I want you to just hold.
Now, I hope some guy isn't waiting for a transplant and this you stop.
No.
Because somewhere in a hospital, they open the beer cooler. It's got beer in it. Where's the heart? What happened to the heart?
Leno's got it. Leno has it. So.
This is a real heart?
This is the heart here.
Okay.
And this is the aorta. And I'm just pointing out, you see how it's like crispy, like potato chips here?
Okay, yes, so I've got a heart on, you might say.
Boom, boom.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
He'll be here all week.
I'm sorry,
I like it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Shit.
You know, this is fascinating. I've never held a human heart. And this looks like a pretty flimsy mechanism, doesn't it?
It does.
This is why we need to take care of it. So,
But see these little plaques here? These are, the aorta chips, basically. You don't want that too much.
they're delicious. Yeah.
All right. But that's the cholesterol you're talking about. Those are what cholesterol plaques look like.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. So there you go.
Well, since your heart is in cars,
yes,
I built you something just for you.
You made something for me.
Yeah, a little heart model that's based on cars. Are you okay with
you
this?
gave me a human heart. I don't know what else you could give me.
This is going to top that. Bring it out, guys. Bring it out.
What do we have here?
We have a racetrack. All right. Now, this is something special. Thank you very much, Jan. All right. So.
Now, I'm no expert, but it looks like a modified Hot Wheels set. Maybe I'm...
It is. So, I've got two cars here. This is a normal racetrack. Notice how thin these linings are.
Right.
There's nothing corroding it, messing it up. Right now, I've got a little car in here. Now, watch this. Now, if there's no blockages here, the heart moves really quickly with the blood. All the blood flows through there. Put that in slow-mo, because I think Jay missed that. Yeah. It's so fast. That's how fast the heart is able to pump blood through itself.
Okay.
But there you go. Oh, there it is. Now, this is what happens in that plaque heart that I just showed you earlier.
So when you put rocks in the road, I'm guessing...
It could be a problem.
Yeah.
And in fact... Oh!
What are the odds of that?
Oh, God, go figure. This is why you got to focus on your LDL cholesterol. It matters.
Well, the funny thing, there's no symptom to it. That's the thing that's weird about it. Because I have a friend of mine, he's a jogger, he runs 3 miles every day. And he had a stroke. And he's furious that I'm sitting home watching Dr. Oz and the Today Show. And I'm not doing anything. I'm eating bonbons, and I'm fine. And he runs every day, and he's just yelling at me because it wasn't fair. But life is not fair. That's the way it works. It's genetics. It's a combination of factors. That's why if you go to that cholesterol911.com website, just questions to ask your doctor. Because if you don't know anything about it, well, here are the questions you can ask so you don't sound like an idiot.
So what has Jay Leno changed in his diet? Do you eat something different? No, what?
Well, I'm trying to change a little bit. I'm trying to change.
Have you given up any food at all?
Given up any food?
Yes.
No, they're I've given up kale, granola. Yes.
All right.
I had no idea how delicious gluten was until I ate gluten-free. I had no idea how delicious gluten was. It was fantastic.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.